Welcome to another week of training. This is a team prosperity team training that we do every week at Tuesday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. They're also recorded and put on the YouTube channel, the Facebook group, and emailed out to the partners so that you guys have them once we're done, and also have a backlog of things that you can go back to for your own personal reasons or your agency development as you have people coming in. We didn't have a training last week. So, what this is a couple of weeks ago, we did a training on network to net worth. This is how unlocking growth through powerful conversations. Once again, that is logged in the YouTube channel. You can go check it out. This week, we're going to get back on course with discussing nationwide impact, which is really why we build this business. If we look at the mission part of this business, which is to teach people how money works, how to win the money game, how to beat the banks at their own game with their own strategies, the mission comes from a nationwide impact. And that comes from building financial distribution. And then that eventually becomes a powerhouse. You are going to get to your goals and your partner's goals and your clients' goals all by interacting with them one on one. But the culmination of doing that over X period of time and doing what we ask you guys to do, you're going to have a national financial services powerhouse that has nationwide distribution that also starts to get you guys what you want that you never could get as a producer. Remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you're going to need a team. We'll talk about both of those today. So, the goal of this training today is to teach you guys how to use our model to build nationwide distribution through client and partner acquisition while staying inspired and committed to the mission. You're not going to feel like doing this every day. That's why you have to find something you're excited about your business each and every day. It's not going to be the same thing, but what you need to stay focused and in alignment with is the mission. If you get inspired by the mission of helping people beat the banks, win the money game, it'll smooth out all the inconsistencies in the days that you are motivated or not motivated. It'll kind of get you a consistent bridge or a path or lane that you can follow by being connected back to the mission. So this is what we're going to be covering today. And this, like I said, is an introductory training. So what we want to do is either springboard off of this and get into more details in the following weeks, or we'll move on to something else. What we're going to dive into is one of the most exciting, powerful aspects of what we do. And that's why I'm here. Hopefully you guys are here in this business. It's building nationwide distribution of financial education, coaching, and the products and services on the backside that we create revenue and income from. Think about it for a minute. This is, and we're not talking about thousands of people, guys. We're talking about just base level. What if you had 10 clients in every state that you're licensed in? What if you had a team of 3 to 5 really active producers in each of the major metro areas in the country? What kind of income, what kind of impact, what kind of legacy would you create from that? Guys, it's going to be huge, and it can get bigger than you ever imagined if you just follow our pattern, our framework, and our blueprint. But even more important than the numbers is the mission. And that's what you have to be connected to. That's what will help you get past all of the roadblocks, obstacles that are going to be in your way of getting this done. And the mission is to help families win the money game, take back control from the banks, lenders, and Wall Street. The bigger our distribution, the more people we help, the more lives we change. So let's talk about how we build it. Everything goes through patterns. I was watching a documentary on wrestling the other day when I was growing up, when we were kids, and we are going to understand, let me let somebody in real quick, that when you build nationwide distribution or national distribution, it hits all types of industries and sectors. So we're talking about financial services, but what happened in the wrestling industry was it was a bunch of local, regions and wrestling opportunities. And then it was brought all together with nationwide syndication. So what you can do is you can consolidate any industry that you're in by building distribution. We're talking about financial services. And if you look at the financial services industry, it's pretty segmented. So what we can do is if we can go out there and we can teach our partners and teach our clients the framework and the blueprint that we have in place, it's going to help you build national distribution. That will be a consolidation of the industry. The more you consolidate, the more distribution to build, the more of an asset that you create, and the more income and revenue that asset produces for you. When you are looking at distribution, what does that actually mean? It's not just about marketing nationwide and getting your sales in other states. It's about creating consistent education, conversations, and conversion across different regions. Remember, if you go to a McDonald's in Florida versus McDonald's in California, it might be a little bit different, but it should be pretty much the same. You want to do that with your business. You want to be, no matter where you are, where your partners, your clients are, everybody's having the same conversations. Everybody's experiencing the same education, the same solutions and strategies according to what we have to offer. Having clients and partners coast to coast. Think about it. I mean, think about in the old days of financial services, and some people still operate in this way. They have that local office. They go out and get local clients. They might bring in a couple employees and partners that are local. We want to build nationwide distributions. We want to leave that old model behind and understand that we have huge advantages from all this technology, virtual tools that we have. And that's what we want to do. We want to leverage systems, processes, and people to duplicate the results beyond just yourself. If you're a producer in this industry, that means that every single month you have to wake up and you have to make it all happen. It's all on your shoulders. If you're building distribution, if you're building agencies, if you're creating agency build out, that's not always on your shoulders. So even if you have a not so great production month, maybe your agency build out had a great month. So yes, you want to understand the value of production and distribution, but distribution is king, and that's going to get you to your goals and your dreams, and basically change yours and your family's financial life. Every company, and this is extremely important, every company, and you can look at, Savings and Loans Association, insurance companies, mortgage companies, investment banks, brokerage firms. We're keeping it in our industry, so to speak. But what you have to realize is major financial institutions grew using a distribution model. We're not bringing anything new to the table. We're following a framework that's been successful in this industry and outside this industry. But guess what? You have the ability to do the exact same thing, only faster and more efficiently because of the tools and the platforms that are available to you today that weren't available 25 years ago plus. This is how you build residual income, scalable sales, and equity. It's how you go from being a salesperson to a business owner. And this is the huge transformation that I want to take as many people as possible through. You go from being a producer and a salesperson to being an agency owner and a business owner. There's two lanes, guys. And once you really understand the two lanes, it's not really that hard to build this business. What the biggest problem that I see is people just need to get out of their own way. They need to be systematic. They need to be replicatable, and they need to get out of their own way. That's why we have sometimes training on business model components and sometimes professional development, because you need both sides to understand how to be the most success that you possibly can for yourself, your family, your clients, and your partners. So two lanes that you must develop to build real distribution. If you ignore one side, you are going to pay the price. If you straddle both sides and incorporate both lanes, the two lanes into your business build out, you're going to create and build real distribution and be richly rewarded for that. So first part, lane number one is client acquisition. It's pretty straightforward. Every new client you help becomes a story, a testimony, a walking billboard if you pave the path for them to do that. If you're never asking for referrals, if you're never asking for a testimonial, if you're never asking for a review, guess what? You're probably not going to get them. So the worst case scenario in this situation is the person says no. They may come back to it at a later point, but the answer is always going to be no if you don't ask. And then client acquisition is about our education, whether it's webinars, free reports, master classes, all the stuff that we've been developing over the last few years positions us as not salespeople, but as problem solvers, not product pushers. And the referrals, they can be exponential in our model. Why? Because we create real value. And when that value is being recognized from the other side, that's when you come in. Hey, who else do you know and care about that needs access to this information? The referral conversation is not going to be the same for every person. It's going to be when that value is recognized. One client can lead to five more when you follow up and serve at a high level. If you're unorganized, you're not asking for this stuff. If you're asking for it, you're not following up with the referrals. You are leaving money on the table. That money is falling through the cracks. And that is something that you do not want to happen. You want to create a business model where everything flows freely. You know exactly what you're doing, when to do it, why to do it, how to do it, and what that creates for you in your business model. Clients are important. Partners are also important. Remember, you're not going to build distribution on your own. So that's where partner acquisition comes in. You can only go so far by yourself alone. So partners can multiply your efforts, help you build that distribution. Every good partner is another opportunity or another channel of distribution. Now, is every partner you bring in going to do something? No. And that's where recruiting and building uh, can feel like an uphill battle sometimes because you bring somebody in, you're excited about it, they don't do anything. Sometimes they resurface, they circle back around at a later date. But what you want to do is concentrate on what you control, which is what you're doing every day, the energy, the intensity, the marketing, the conversations, the follow-up, everything that you control. That's what you concentrate on. Our model allows you to bring in a partner, plug them into the systems, and help them produce fast. Now, are they going to do that? Some will, some won't. But what you have to understand is you're going through the motions. You're doing what you need to do. And through that process, you're going to find the cream rises to the top and you'll spend more and more and more time with those people who are actually trying to make it happen. You cannot invest your time and get no return on that investment. So if somebody's not making it happen, not wanting it to happen, showing no enthusiasm, showing no effort, you can't want something on the client or the partner side more than they want for themselves. So understand that. But the best part of partner acquisition, you're not just helping clients, it's leading a team that helps hundreds. So once again, getting back to the mission, if you build an agency and that agency creates other independent agencies, we're all doing the same thing, the same framework, the same blueprint, then what you have to offer is something that can, those individuals, those households, those families that your partners are helping, it's creating a distribution model. The magic, guys, of this, what I've seen over the past number of years, the magic happens when you combine both these lanes. You can be a really good producer and be awesome with the clients, but if you ignore the partner side, you're going to pay the price. Same thing. If you are only concentrating on the partner side and neglect the client side, the partner side takes a little bit of time to get, revved up, so to speak. So you need the client side to produce the immediate revenue and income while you're building the distribution. Straddle both sides, incorporate both lanes. You work your client flow while developing producers who do the same. That's where the magic's going to happen. That's where the hockey stick growth is going to happen. That's where you move from where you are now into where you want to be, whether that's a revenue and income number, whether that's an agency build out number, whether that's a partner number, whatever it might be. So the model that powers it all, remember, you need an energy grid. You need something that's going to power this model because if you have a car with no engine or no gas, it's not going anywhere. Same thing, the electricity comes from a power grid. Everything that you look at, it all comes from a power source. So the model that powers it all is what we've been working on over the last few years. And our model isn't random. It's been tested, retested. It's very strategic. And the things in the model, the components, the language, the verbiage, the education, the reports, the guides, everything's been laid out as a blueprint for success. It's strategic. If you follow it, you will find success in this model. We educate people, and this is not the only ways we educate people. This is just some of the stuff that we do. We have webinars, we have master classes, we have discovery calls, we have free reports, we have solution presentations, we have an easy to follow two-step process to convert debt to wealth. We have free coaching. We have a lot of value-based propositions. And instead of selling people things, we educate them and let that education lead to buying decisions. What is a buying decision? A buying decision is something that the other side has made. You haven't forced them into, and that opens up everything. When they made a buying decision, they're excited about it. And you follow up a more value-based proposition like free coaching. The testimonials, the reviews, the referrals are all going to fly through if you ask for them. And then on the partner acquisition side, we attract and onboard agents through interactive presentations, straight agent marketing, understanding how to help them solve the dilemmas and overcome the roadblocks and the obstacles that many agents in this industry have, because we know what they are, we identified them, and we brought solutions to the table. Also, we have discovery calls, really non-threatening, just to get to know about them and their business. What are they wanting to do? What are their obstacles? What's been holding them back? And we bring solutions to the table that we know, either through discussions or preemptively by discussing it with other agents, where they're lacking, where the deficiencies are, and how we can help them get to where they want to be. We also have agent master classes. We have weekly team trainings like this. We have marketing systems. We have CRM systems that we help the agents with. And once again, we have a two-step process that's very easy to talk about in the marketing on the client side, because you're not talking about products and services. You're talking about how to get ahead, how to win the money game, how to beat the banks. And if somebody's interested in learning that stuff, that's a good leading indicator. You might have a solid prospect who turns into a solid client. Guys, you can't cut corners. And one of the things that you will see in our model is that we've worked on this over the past number of years. Everything that we do, from the first message to the final policy or the interaction, is replicatable, which is why we can scale. Because if you have generational build out, if you have agency build out, and one agency's doing something that another agency's not doing, they're doing something completely different. You see some of that in the insurance industry right now with some of the bigger names. You can have offices, 10 miles down the road doing completely different things. Everything that we do is the same, from messages to the interaction to the education. If that's why we can scale. One agency is doing exactly the same as the other agent. Your job is not to do all of this, is to get great at leading people through a flow, a communication flow, an education flow, a sales flow, a partner flow, whatever it might be. Point them to the flow, lead them through that. We're not asking that you reinvent the wheel, just help, push the wheel down the road. And then the roadmap to growth. This is all you have to worry about. First of all, probably the hardest part about this business is the initial traction. It's going to take some grit. It's going to take some consistency. It's going to take falling over yourself, getting up, getting back out there. You're going to learn from your mistakes. So if you're not making any mistakes in the beginning, you're not learning. You're never going to get past that initial traction stage. Then you move to building, and then you can start moving to scaling. We've got all this mapped out for you. First stage, traction. Your focus is on learning scripts, sharing your story, booking discovery calls, just doing that upfront communication, which is very limited, so where somebody else can help you create the outcomes for you. Then set a goal, 3 clients and 3 partners per month. If you can do that on an individual basis and teach other people to do that, and look, that's not hard to do, guys. We're not setting this metric so far out of this world that nobody can get it. 3 clients and 3 partners per month should be very easy. If you can do that and teach other people how to do that, watch what happens with your distribution business. And then especially in stage 1, when you're building traction, track your small wins. All wins, but the small wins are going to build momentum. And in the first stage, you might not have these huge wins. So you have to look at the small wins to build momentum, to create the stepping stones that get you into the next stages for the bigger wins. So stage 1 is the traction. This is extremely important. You can't get to building and scaling without getting some initial traction. Second stage, this is building. Your focus is on consistent lead flow. Remember, lead flow is the lifeblood of your business. You need inbound, outbound, organic, paid if you started making some money, but you've got to have consistent lead flow. If your lead flow is not consistent, it's going to create a start and a stop in your business that you don't have control over. Once you create lead flow on a consistent basis, it's all about just sorting people. This person wants to be helped. They have the resources to be helped. This person doesn't want to be helped. They just want to dwell on their problem. This person does want to be helped. They don't have the resources. Maybe I can revisit that at another time. Begin training your partners to duplicate your activities. Get clear on systems, messages, and workflows, because once again, if you create a framework and a blueprint that's everybody following, it's going to be a lot easier to manage from a distribution level. And you got to master your tools in the building of stage 2, which is CRM, appointment calendars, presentation decks, all the things that are going to help you go from traction to building and set the stage for the third stage, which is scaling. In this, you're going to focus on delegating those low value tasks. Host your own training webinar. So what are you doing at this point? You're starting to move some of your responsibilities into automation or over to things like VAs or appointment setters. We always teach you in the beginning, you want to create some money for yourself. What does that money do? Well, that money tells you that this is a real opportunity that you can do. It also rewards you for your time that you invested into this. It also helps you create a marketing budget so that it's not all organic, it's not all outbound. You can do your marketing in a way that creates, once again, one of the most important things, consistent lead flow. So you want to add that infrastructure, you start making money, the virtual assistants, the appointment setters, the marketing systems that will help you automate or push those low-level tasks off to somebody else. So you can concentrate on what? The IPAs, the income producing activities, the training of your partners, the dealing with the clients. And then you track KPI, key performance indicators. What is your show to call percentage? What is your close percentage, partner activation percentage, etc.? If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. If you know your numbers, it becomes a lot easier to move into stage 3 and scale. Focus on depth and width in your team. You want to go deep and wide in your team, and you want to reward those people who are making it happen. You want to lock them in. How do you lock them in? With ownership. That's a conversation for another training, another day. But you lock the good partners in with ownership so they don't leave. This roadmap, guys, is not hypothetical. It's how our top builders are doing it right now. It's how people are building distribution. It's how they're building their first agency. It's how they're getting the independent agency owners out of the original agency. So this isn't something we just made up that we want to test. This is how it's being done right now. And if you follow this, you'll find the same success. You need to adopt, if you don't already have, a growth mindset about everything in professional and personal development. But especially if you're going to build a business like this, you have to adopt a growth mindset. You have to be curious. You always have to want to learn and implement what you learn. But you also, in that growth mindset, have to understand the reality of the journey. What does that mean? Well, let's be real about this. This is a marathon. It's not a 30-day sprint. Some days will feel like breakthroughs, other days will feel like plateaus, but your success is found in consistency, attitude, and grit. Once again, consistency, attitude, and grit, those things that you control is what you concentrate on. The business grows as you grow. So are you growing professionally? If you are, your business is probably growing. If you're locked into a box or put yourself in a box where you haven't learned anything new, you haven't implemented anything new, you haven't gone outside your comfort zone, your business is probably not growing. If your business is not growing, it's dying. If it's not expanding, it's contracting. You don't get to stay in a neutral spot. The team multiplies when you lead. Once again, this model richly rewards you for leadership development. Are you developing as a leader? If you are, it's a leading indicator, good things are going to happen. If you're shying away from becoming a leader, you're going to pay the price for that. The revenue scales when the foundation is strong. Growth isn't always glamorous. You know, Facebook had a motto when they first came out, move stuff or move fast and break stuff. That's what you should be doing. If you're scared of mistakes, especially in the beginning, you're going to be stuck in stage 1, which is traction, for way too long. Growth is always worth it, though. That's why we teach growth mindset here. Focus on what you control. That's your daily actions. That's your outreach, what you're able to learn and implement, and your leadership skills. Development of those is imperative. And then what I want to leave you guys with today is some call to actions and next steps, because it's one thing to come to a training or watch a training on recording. It's another thing to take that training and then develop it into actionable steps and next steps that you can take. So here's what we want to do. Here's the challenge for the week. Identify where you are in your business. Are you brand new, or you've been around for a while, but you still need to get traction? That's where you are. Are you in the building stage? Have you developed enough in the building stage where you want to concentrate on scaling? Identify where you are. If you're in traction, you don't need to worry about building and scaling. You need to worry about what stage you're in and getting out of that stage. Write out 3 daily actions that align with that stage. What am I going to do today that's going to help me in that stage, but also help me springboard out of that stage? Start or reboot your client and partner flow this week. If you don't have a flow to what you're doing, if there's a start and stop to what you're doing, it's almost like you never started at all. So let's make a commitment to ourselves and our business. If you're starting now, if you're rebooting, don't make this a habit. Get into that consistency of activity. And then book your discovery calls, run presentations, follow up consistently. If that's not your job, do your job, and then find somebody else that will help you, your upline, take care of the things that you don't know how to do, don't know how to do, don't have the time to do, or don't want to do. This is something where we don't know. If you're not telling us what's going on in your, I mean, we see the numbers obviously, but if we don't know what's going on in your business, if you need help, but you're not asking for help, we don't know. So if you need help, lean in, ask questions, get on a strategy call, get something on our calendars, plug into the team. Together, we're building something big, a nationwide movement of financial education, empowerment, and distribution. This is going to be built with or without you. So you don't want to look back 5, 6, 7 years and say, man, I should have capitalized on that moment. Look at where they are now. I didn't take advantage. So remember, you have to spot the opportunity. You have to take massive action on that opportunity. This is a great opportunity. And guess what? We don't need infrastructure. I don't need $250,000. I don't need you to go rent out an office building. I don't need something. If we post up with new partners in this state, everything's lined up. We have a bunch of virtual tools. We have a marketing system, CRM. We have everything that you need. Once again, you just need to get out of your own way. You were born to make an impact. This is an opportunity to make an impact. We talk about this all the time. Financial wellness is one slice of the wellness pie. If you're going out there actively helping people in that slice, creating positive ripple effects, it has a spillover effect into relationships, into your health, into your spiritual wellness. On the other side, if you don't go out there and make the impact and you don't reach that person or that family, and that wellness slice is not good, it also has a ripple effect. This one's negative, and it causes stress, and it causes stress on your health, your relationships, your ability to do a lot of things, because financial stress is 24/7, 365. If you don't tackle it, it will slowly eat and kill you. That's all we've got for today, guys. I hope this was meaningful. I hope that you guys can take away from some of this stuff, understand where you are, what you need to do in that stage, and what you need to do to get out of that stage to keep progressing to what you want to do.